You used to look at me like home, like I was where you'd rest. Your voice would soften when you spoke. Your hands knew where I'd end. Then something shifted in your eyes. I felt it before you said. You smiled the same, but something broke. That night you went quiet instead. You said you were just tired lately, said nothing was wrong with us, but love doesn't leave all at once, it just stops showing up. I remember the day you changed, the moment I lost your heart. You were standing right in front of me, but already falling apart. You didn't leave, didn't say goodbye. You just pulled away. I've been stuck reliving that moment, the day you changed. We still said I love you out of habit, like words we used to mean. Your arms felt colder every time, like I was in between. I searched for myself in your silence, tried fixing what I couldn't name. You stayed, but not in the way that counts. You weren't here the same. I blame myself for your distance, like love was mine to repair, but you were already learning how to love without me there. I remember the day you changed, when trying stopped hurting you. You looked at me like I was a memory, instead of something true. You didn't break me with a goodbye, you broke me when you stayed, and let me love you alone from the day you changed. If I knew that was the last real moment, I would have held you tighter then. I would have said everything I felt instead of hoping you'd come back again. Now I replay it in slow motion, every word, every face, trying to find the exact second when love slipped into space. I remember the day you changed, the day I felt you leave. beside mine, but your heart stopped choosing me. One day I'll stop blaming myself for a love I couldn't save. But tonight I'm still living in the day you changed. Oh, some goodbyes don't come with distance or a last embrace. They happen quietly, without a sound. On the day you changed. We promised more than we could carry, said forever like it was light. You held my hand through all my darkness, then let go without a fight. Your laughter used to calm my breathing, now it's just a memory. Funny how the loudest silence is you not choosing me. You said love shouldn't hurt this much, like pain was proof I cared too deep. I tried to be what you needed while losing pieces of me. I'm haunted by the love that didn't stay, by the words you never meant. You walked away like we were nothing, like my heart was easy to forget. You didn't didn't stay. I replay nights we talked till sunrise, dreams we swore we'd chase. I kept a seat for you at my table, you erased your place. I blame myself for all your distance, like love was mine to fix. I held on to the way you used to be, while you were already gone from this. You said you needed time to breathe, but left me drowning here alone. Somehow the love that didn't stay. If loving me felt like a weight, I wish you'd let me know. I would have set you free with grace instead of begging you not to go. Now I talk to your memory at night, like it might still hear my pain. It's strange how something once so warm could leave me feeling this replaced. I'm still haunted by the love that didn't stay, by the way you let us fade. You didn't fight for what we had, you just quietly changed. One day I love without fear again, without begging someone to stay. But I'll always remember how it felt to lose the love that didn't stay. Some loves are meant to last forever, but they leave forever changed. You were my almost, my maybe, my why, my love that didn't stay. I walk through streets we used to know. Every step reminds me of your face. I reach for you in empty rooms, but I'm only met with space. I gave you all my faith, my trust, every dream I held inside. But love like ours can fade too fast and leave the heart to hide. I try to move on, try to let go, but your shadow still remains. Some wounds don't heal with time, some hearts can't break these chains. I never recover from losing you. Every heartbeat still calls your name. I try to mend, I try to forget, but nothing feels the same. I never recovered, and I don't know if I will. The nights are long, the silence still. I loved you fully, but love can't forgive, and I never recovered from the life we lived. I hear your laugh in the wind outside. It pierces through my quiet mind. I see your eyes in strangers' faces, hoping too much for staying when I should have known that love can leave without a warning and leave you here alone. I whisper prayers into the night, believe you might come back, but some hearts are meant to wander and leave love on a broken track. I never recovered from losing you. Every heartbeat still calls your name. I try to mend, I try to forget, but nothing feels the same. I never recovered, and I don't know if I will. The nights are long, the silence still. I loved you fully, but love can't forgive, and I never recovered from the life we live. If I could turn back just one day, I'd hold my heart before I gave. I loved myself before I loved you, and maybe I could be brave. But some lessons hurt too deeply, some memories never fade. I'll learn to breathe, but I'll always know the heartache you made. I never recovered from losing you. Every heartbeat still calls your name. I try to mend, I try to forget, but nothing feels the same. I never recovered, and I don't know if I will. The nights are long, the silence still. I love you fully, but love can't forgive, and I never recovered from the life we lived. I never recovered, and maybe I never will. I watched you pack your memories like I was just a thing to leave behind. Your eyes were distant, your hands were cold, and I was still holding mine. I whispered, stay into the silence, but your footsteps knew the way. I never knew goodbye could feel so sharp, so cruel, so gray. You didn't shout, you didn't fight, you just walked out that door and left my heart to bleed alone, like it had never mattered before. The goodbye hurt, it cut so deep, it stole my touch the places you once touched, and the air feels just the same, but everything around me whispers your absence, your name. I keep replaying your last embrace, your last soft fleeting smile. How love can leave so quietly and still wound me all the while. I tried to hold on to the pieces of a heart that walked away. Some love isn't meant to linger. Some hearts are thrown astray. The goodbye heart, it cut so deep. It stole my nights, it stole my sleep. I loved you with every part of me, and you let go so easily. No words could heal, no tears could mend the way our story had to end. I still feel the ache, the scar, the dirt, the pain of the goodbye. If I could turn back just one day, I'd hold you closer, make you stay. But love that's lost this silently leaves nothing but dismay. I'll learn to breathe without you here. I'll find the light, go dim and blind, but nothing will replace the sting, the pain, the goodbye heart. The goodbye heart, it cut so deep. It stole my nights, it stole my sleep. I loved you with every part of me, and you let go so easily. No words could heal, no tears could mend the way our story had to end. I still feel the ache, the scar, the dirt, forever the goodbye. Some goodbyes leave more than distance. They leave your soul perturbed. I carry it inside of me, the pain of the goodbye hurt. I held your hand like it was forever, believed your words like gospel truth. You smiled at me, I smiled back, and lost myself inside of you. I gave my heart, I gave my trust, every piece I could supply, but you let go without a fight, without a single goodbye. You didn't scream, you didn't cry, you didn't leave a trace. You just slipped into the night like love was not your place. You walked away, yeah, leaving me behind like I was nothing. without a thought, without a reason to forgive. You didn't break me with anger, didn't shatter the floor. You just left quietly, closing the door. You walked away easy, but the hurt won't fade. I'm still bleeding from the love you betrayed. I see your face in empty spaces, hear you laugh in the wind. Everywhere I turn reminds me of the love I can't rescind. I blame myself for staying too long, for hoping when I shouldn't see. But love that's real can't force a heart that's already free. You said it's just the way it is, like leaving was fine. But leaving someone who loves you feels like a slow crime. You walked away easy, leaving me behind, like I was nothing, like I never shine. I loved you with everything I had to give, and you left without a thought, without a reason to forgive. You didn't break me with anger, didn't shatter the floor. You just left quietly, closing the door. You walked away easy, but the hurt won't fade. I'm still bleeding from the love you betrayed. If loving you was my mistake, then heartbreak is my only reward. I'll learn to breathe, I'll learn to live, even with the love ignored. But I'll never forget the silence you left, or the way you tore me apart. You walked away easy, but the weight remains heavy on my heart. You walked away easy, leaving me behind, like I was nothing, like I never shine. I loved you with everything I had to give, and you left without a thought, without a reason to forget. You didn't break me with anger, didn't shatter the floor. You just left quietly, closing the door. You walked away easy, but the hurt won't fade. I'm still bleeding from the love you betrayed. You walked away easy, and I'm still learning to stay. I sat alone in the quiet dark, counting hours that felt like years, hoping you'd come back to me through the sorrow, through the tears. I gave my heart, I gave my all, believed in what could be. But love can vanish silently and leave an empty sea. I held on tight to promises that you never meant to keep. Some hearts are gone before they leave. Some love is far too deep. I waited for nothing, and it broke me inside. I gave you my everything while you let it slide. I dreamed of forever, but you never stayed. Now I'm left with the memories and the price I paid. I waited for nothing, held on through the pain, hope for a love that would never remain. I gave you my heart, but you let it fall. I waited for nothing and lost it all. I walk through places we used to know. Every shadow whispers your name. I reach for you in empty rooms, but nothing could remain. I blame myself for hoping too much, for trusting when I shouldn't see that love without return is just a ghost that haunts relentlessly. I whisper prayers into the night, hoping you might appear, but some hearts don't come back at all, and some loves disappear. I waited for nothing, and it broke me inside. Gave you everything while you let it slide. I dreamed of forever, but you never stayed. Now I'm left with the memories and the price I paid. I waited for nothing, held on through the pain, hope for a love that would never remain. I gave you my heart, but you let it fall. I waited for nothing and lost it all. If I could turn back just one day, I'd love myself before I gave. I'd learn to see the signs and know some hearts are never brave. I'll rise again, I'll breathe again, but tonight the ache remains. I waited for love, but was never true, and learned how much it drains. I waited for nothing, and it broke me inside. Gave you my everything while you let it slide. I dreamed of forever, but you never stayed. Now I'm left with memories and the price I paid. I waited for nothing, held on through the pain, hope for a love that would never remain. I gave you my heart, but you let it fall. I waited for nothing and lost it all. I waited for nothing, and I'm still learning to let go. I wake to echoes of your laughter, a ghost that haunts my room. I reach for you in empty empty sheets, but only shadows loom. Your words still hang in the silence, like daggers I can't remove. I thought love could save us both, but love was not enough. I tried to hold on to the pieces of a heart you let slip away, but some wounds never fade, and the pain won't go away. The pain is real, it cuts me deep, it keeps me awake. When I should sleep, I gave you all I had to give. I walk past places we used to go. Every corner speaks your name. The world keeps moving forward, but I'm stuck inside this flame. I blame myself for loving too much, for trusting when I shouldn't see. But the hardest truth I face each day is that you were never mine to keep. I whispered hope into the dark, believed in something true, but love that's lost this violently leaves scars that won't undo. The pain is real, it cuts me deep, it keeps me awake. When I should sleep, I gave you all I had to give. You left, and still I try to live. Every smile reminds me of the lies, every tear reflects your goodbye. I thought I'd heal, but I can't conceal the pain. The pain is real. If I could turn back time, I'd hold myself before I gave. I learned that loving someone too much can leave you broken, but brave. I'll survive, I'll breathe again. But tonight I can't pretend. The ache you left inside of me is more than I can mend. The pain is real, it cuts me deep, it haunts my nights, it steals my sleep. I loved you with the heart of gold, but you left and left me cold. Every whisper, every memory, every dream I shared with thee. I thought I'd heal, but I can't conceal the pain. The pain is real. Some loves aren't meant to last forever. Some hearts are left to feel the empty spaces, the silent cries. The pain is real. I gave you every part of me, every heartbeat, every dream. I fought through storms to stay with you, but you were never what you seemed. I reached for you when nights were cold, believed in all your words. But love that's one-sided slowly dies, and hope is left unheard. I stayed when leaving would have saved me. I hoped when I should have known. Some hearts can't fight for what they feel. Some love is never shown. You never tried, not even once, to meet me where I was, to bear the cost. I gave my all, and you stood still. You left me broken against my will. You never tried, and now it's clear the love I held was never here. I loved you fully, but you let it die. You never tried, and that's why I cry. I counted all the empty days, hoped you'd change, hoped you'd stay. But silence grew between our hearts and slowly tore me away. I blame myself for loving too much, for hoping when I shouldn't see. But some hearts are born to walk alone and never fight for what could be. I whispered prayers into the night, hoping you might appear. But some hearts are gone too far, and some love disappears. You never tried, not even once, to meet me where I was, to bear the cost. I gave my all, and you stood still. You left me broken against my will. You never tried, and now it's clear the love I held was never here. I loved you fully, but you let it die. You never tried, and that's why I cry. If I could turn back just one day, I'd hold my heart before I gave. I'd learn that love needs both to fight, and not just one to save. I'll rise again, I'll breathe again, I'll find a love that's true. But tonight I'm on the one that left, and the love that never grew. You never tried, not even once, to meet me where I was, to bear the cost. I gave my all, and you stood still. You left me broken against my will. You never tried, and now it's clear the love I held was never here. I loved you fully, but you let it die. You felt it in the quiet way you said my name, like something sacred slowly losing flame. Your eyes will wander, your touch grew thin, like you were already gone while standing within. I try to hold on, try to do my best, but love feels heavy when it's not confessed. I kept believing we were still the same, but my heart was burning while yours felt no pain. You loved me less, I felt it every day, in the space between the words you wouldn't say. Every promise faded, every feeling blurred. I was screaming inside while you barely heard. I gave you all of me, I gave you my best, but somewhere along the way you loved me less. You stopped asking how my nights had been, stopped noticing the cracks within. I smiled for you, hid all the pain, told myself love would return again, but affection shouldn't feel like a test, and loving you shouldn't hurt my chest. I blame myself for the distance you made, like it was my fault your heart had changed. You loved me less, I felt it every day, in the way you slowly turned away. Every touch colder, every silence long, I kept holding on while you were already gone. I gave you all of me, I gave you my best, but somewhere along the way you loved me less. Maybe love doesn't vanish all at once, maybe it leaves in quiet months, in unanswered calls and half-said truth, and choosing distance over us and you. I stayed and fought, you quietly left, calling it space while I lost myself. You loved me less, and I loved you more. That's how my heart got torn apart before. I begged in silence, you let me guess if I was still the one you loved. I guess not, I guess less. I gave you my heart without a defense, but loving you cost me everything I had left. You loved me less. I don't hate you, I just need rest from loving someone who loved me less. Someone who loved me less. I gave you mornings full of hope and nights I couldn't sleep. I gave you all my broken truths I never meant to keep. I gave you faith when mine was shaking, hands that never let go. I built my world around your name and watched you outgrow home. I made excuses for your silence, called your distance just a phase. I kept believing love would save us while it slowly slipped away. I gave you everything I had, every breath, every scar. I emptied out my heart for you. You never saw how hard I stayed when leaving would have hurt less. Loved you past my breaking point. You didn't take my heart in pieces, you took it all. I gave you everything. I gave you chances you never earned, forgiveness on repeat. I wore your pain like it was mine, till I forgot my needs. You promised me you'd try again, but trying never came. You let me drown in almost love while you stayed safe from pain. You said I asked for too much, like love was a crime, but I was only asking you to meet me halfway in time. I gave you everything I had, every tear, every part. I burned myself to keep you warm. You watched me fall apart. I held on when you let go. I chose us when you didn't try. You didn't just walk out on love, you walked out on my life. If loving you was my mistake, then why does it still hurt this deep? I would have given you the stars if you'd stayed long enough to see. Now I'm learning how to breathe again with less of you inside. But it's hard to save what's left of me when I lost myself trying. I gave you everything I was, my soul, my time, my truth. I gave you faith in futures you never followed through. If loving you was all I knew, then losing you is everything. I didn't lose you in one moment, I lost myself. I gave you everything. One day I'll love with open hands, not bleeding just to stay. But you'll always be the one who taught me what everything can take away. Gave you every piece of me, every secret, every scar. I close my eyes to all your flaws. Believe the love you are. I held your hand through stormy nights and prayed you'd stay with me. But I didn't see the truth behind the heart that wouldn't be. I ignore the signs, I ignore the pain. I thought love could conquer all, but some hearts are not meant to stay, and some empires always fall. Every moment, every word, every smile that fooled my heart. I painted dreams where you weren't real and tore my soul apart. I blame myself for trusting too much, for hoping when I shouldn't see. But loving blindly has a price. It leaves you incomplete. I stayed too long, I hoped too hard, ignored the cracks in your ways. But love without truth is just a ghost that haunts our nights and days. Scars will never fade. I loved you blindly, and I learned what love and loss can trade. I loved you blindly, didn't see the lies, didn't feel the distance behind your eyes. I gave you everything and still you left. Taught me that love can hurt and hearts can melt. I loved you blindly, gave more than I should, believed in forever. Thought love was good, now I'm picking up pieces that you left. I loved you blindly, and I'm bereft. I loved you blindly, but I'll open my eyes again. You used to say my name like a promise, like it meant you'd never leave. Now it sounds like something stolen from a life you didn't keep. Your jacket still on the chair by the window, still smells like late July. But the way you walked out that evening taught me how goodbye can lie. You didn't scream, you didn't fight, you just got tired of trying. Some wounds don't bleed at all, they just keep quietly dying. I'm bleeding from the love you quit, not the fights, not the scars. It's the way you slowly let me go while I was holding your heart. You didn't hate me, didn't hurt me loud, you just chose your peace and split. Now I'm haunted by what we almost were, and the love you quit. I replay every maybe someday, like it was meant to stay. You said you needed time to find yourself, but you never found your way back. I learned how to eat alone at midnight, how silence screams the most. You took the future we were building and turned it into a ghost. You said love shouldn't feel this hard, like that was my fault somehow. So I smiled and let you leave while my world was burning down. I'm bleeding from the love you quit, not the lies, not the blame. It's the way you stopped choosing me but kept saying my name. You didn't break me with goodbye, you broke me bit by bit. Now every empty room remembers the love you quit. If loving me felt like a weight, I wish you'd let me know. I would have carried it for both of us instead of watching you go. Now I talk to your shadow at night, like it might still care. Funny how you left so quietly, but your absence lives everywhere. I'm still bleeding from the love you quit, from the plans we never tried, from the nights you stayed but weren't really there, from the day you chose to hide. You didn't fall out of love all at once, you slowly loosen your grip. Now I'm learning how to survive the love you quit. One day I'll love without fear again, without begging to be picked. But I'll always remember how it felt to lose the love you quit. I held your words like fragile glass, believed every lie you told. You smiled while I was breaking, left my heart out in the cold. I trusted you with every piece of a soul too young to know. Love isn't meant to cut this deep, but somehow you made it so. You didn't shout, you didn't fight, you just let me drown in pain. Some wounds aren't loud or visible, but they leave a lasting stain. The hurt you caused is still in me, every corner of my mind. I gave you love, you left me scars, a pain I can't leave behind. You didn't break me with a scream, you broke me quietly slow. And every day I feel the weight of the hurt you left to grow. I replay every almost happy, every laugh we used to share. Now silence fills the empty spaces where I thought you'd always care. I blame myself for your distance, thought love could fix your heart. But love can't heal what's not returned, or make broken souls restart. You said you needed time away, like leaving me was kind. But leaving someone you once loved is cruel in any mind. The hurt you caused is still in me, every shadow, every night. I reached for you, you turned away, left me searching for some love leaves a mark unseen, but the heart never lies. The hurt you caused stays in my veins, even when my soul flies. I waited for your call at midnight, hoping you'd come back to me. Counted every shadow in my room, dreaming of what couldn't be. I held on to the words you whispered, even when they weren't enough. I gave my heart my every piece, but your love was never tough. I stayed when leaving would have saved me. I hope when I should have known this violently leaves the soul to ache alone. I waited in pain through every lonely night, hoping your heart would find its way back to mine. I gave you all I had, but it slipped through my hands. I waited in pain while you made your plans. Every tear was a prayer I sent to the sky. Every sigh was a dream that had to die. I waited in pain, and I still do, hoping someday you'll feel it too. I watch the seasons change outside while I stay frozen in your name. Every promise that you made to me now feels like a flickering flame. I blame myself for your distance, for hoping when I shouldn't see. But loving someone who walks away leaves scars that won't set free. I whispered love into the darkness, believed in us too long, and every day I wake to realize your heart was never where I belong. I waited in pain through every lonely night, hoping your heart would find its way back to mine. I gave you all I had, but it slipped through my hands. I waited in pain while you made your plans. Every tear was a prayer I sent to the sky. Every sigh was a dream that had to die. I waited in pain, and I still do, hoping someday you'll feel it too. If I could turn back time, I'd love myself before I loved you. I'd learn that hearts like ours can live on hopes that never come true. I'll breathe again, I'll heal in time, but tonight I can't escape the rue. I waited in pain, and I always will, for the love I thought was true. I waited in pain through every lonely night, hoping your heart would find its way back to mine. I gave you all I had, but it slipped through my hands. I waited in pain while you made your plans. Every tear was a prayer I sent to the sky. Every sigh was a dream that had to die. I waited in pain, and I still do, hoping someday you'll feel it too. I waited in pain, but I'll learn to love again. I built my walls around my heart, thought I'd never fall again. Then you came softly through the cracks and tore them down within. I gave you all my fragile trust, every dream I held inside. But loving you was like holding fire, burning me from every side. I knew the risk, I knew the pain, but I couldn't walk away. You were the storm I chased, the night that stole my day. You were my weakness, my strongest flaw, the reason I stumbled, the weight I saw. replay every word, every touch, every glance that made me believe that maybe love could heal the past and teach a heart to breathe. But love that's blind can cut too deep, and pain is what it leaves. I'm left with shadows of your smile and all the hurt it weaves. I held you close through stormy nights, believed in what could be, but some hearts never learn to stay, even when they love like me. You were my weakness, my strongest flaw, the reason I stumbled, the weight I saw. I gave you my everything, my soul, my time, but you left me broken without a sign. You were my weakness, the heart I lost, the love I held came at a cost. I loved you fully, but you couldn't stay. You were my weakness, you slipped away. If I could tell my heart to stop, I would have saved myself the pain. But some loves aren't meant to hold, they leave a permanent stain. I'll rise again, I'll learn to breathe, I'll love, but not this way. Still part of me will always know. You were my weakness, and you stayed. You are my weakness, the ways that I stumble. I gave you my everything, my soul, my time, but you left me broken without a sign. You are my weakness, the heart I lost. I loved you fully, but you couldn't stay. You were my weakness, you slipped away. You were my weakness, and I'm learning to survive. I walk through places we used to go, every corner whispers your name. I feel your shadow in the sunlight and hear your voice in the rain. I gave you everything I had, every heartbeat, every dream, but love can fade without a fight, and nothing is what it seems. I tried to let go, tried to move on, but the echoes never leave. Some wounds are carved too deep, some hearts just can't believe. The hurt still lives inside of me, it breathes in silence, won't set me free. I loved you with all I had to give, but you walked away and left me to live with memories that burn and nights that bleed. The hurt still lives in every need. I try to heal, I try to forgive, but the hurt still lives. I touch the space where you once lay, cold sheets now hold my tears. I talk to your memory at night, wishing you were here. I blame myself whispered prayers into the dark, hoping you'd hear them too. But some loves are gone too far, and there's nothing left to do. The hurt still lives inside of me. It breathes in silence, won't set me free. I loved you with all I had to give, but you walked away and left me to live with memories that burn and nights that bleed. The hurt still lives in every need. I try to heal, I try to forgive, but the hurt still lives. If I could turn back time, I'd hold my heart before I gave. I'd let myself love slower instead of losing what I crave. I'll learn to breathe, I'll learn to mend, but every scar reminds me still the love we had, the way it ended. The hurt, it lingers, it always will. The hurt still lives inside of me. It breathes in silence, won't set me free. I loved you with all I had to give, but you walked away and left me to love memories that burn and nights that bleed. The hurt still lives in every need. I try to heal, I try to forgive, but the hurt still lives. The hurt still lives, and I carry it with me. I watched you go without a word. No tears, no glance, no goodbye. You walked away like nothing mattered, while I was left to cry. I gave you all my faith and trust, every hope I held inside. But love can fade without a fight and leave the heart to hide. You didn't scream, you didn't fight, you didn't feel the pain. You just let go so easily and left me in the rain. You left without guilt, left me alone. Took the love I gave, turned it to stone. I loved you fully, I bled, I bared, and you left as if you never cared. No regret, no sorrow, just empty space. I'm haunted by the memory of your face. You left without guilt, but the hurt remains. I'm still bleeding from the love you drained. I touch the places we used to be. The air still carries your name. I talk to your shadow at night, but nothing will feel the same. I blame myself for loving too much, for trusting when I shouldn't see. But some hearts can leave without a thought, and some love was never free. I whispered prayers into the dark, hoping you'd come back to me. But some hearts are gone too far, and some love is just debris. You left without guilt, left me alone. Took the love I gave, turned it to stone. I loved you fully, I bled, I bared, and you left as if you never cared. guilt, left me alone, took the love I gave, turned it to stone. I loved you for your blood I bled, and you left as if you never cared. No regret, no sorrow, just empty space. I'm haunted by the memory of your face. You left without guilt, but the hurt remains. I'm still bleeding from the love you drained. You left without guilt, and I'm learning to survive. You held my hands like you were staying, like tomorrow was ours to keep. You said forever without blinking, then watched me fall asleep. Your words were warm, your silence colder. Every promise started to fade. I didn't hear the sound of breaking till my heart was already in flames. You didn't leave with slammed doors, you left with eyes that couldn't meet. Some goodbyes don't need a reason, they just cut too deep. You left me bleeding, not screaming, just trying to breathe. You walked away like loving me was something you couldn't be. No closure, no warning, just silence instead of truth. You didn't kill me with goodbye, you left me bleeding, missing you. I learned the weight of empty mornings when your side of the bed stays cold. Your laughter echoes in the hallway like a story never told. I blame myself for all your distance, like love was mine to lose. You looked so calm while I was breaking, guess pain is easier when it's not you. You said I'd be okay in time, like time's been kind to me. Every second without you here feels like a slow injury. You left me bleeding, still believing you might come home. I stitched your name into my prayers, now I'm praying alone. No anger, just damage from loving you too true. You didn't end us with words, you left me bleeding. But tonight the pain is real. You didn't just leave my life, you left me bleeding. I trusted every word you said, believed every touch you gave. I laid my heart across your hands, but you knew how to misbehave. I stayed awake through stormy nights, waiting for you to come back. But every smile you left behind was just a shadow on my track. I try to hold on, try to forgive, but the scars you left remain. Some wounds cut silently, yet echo with constant pain. You hurt me deep, deeper than I knew. Took all I had and still I loved you. I gave my all, my soul, my time, and you left me drowning in your lies. You didn't break me with anger loud, you broke me quietly, hidden in a crowd. You hurt me deep and it's hard to breathe, still haunted by what you took from me. I see your face in empty rooms, hear your voice in the wind. Every memory that I keep feels like a knife within. I blame myself for every tear, for hoping when I shouldn't see. But some hearts can't hold what they don't deserve, and love can leave silently. I whispered prayers into the night, hoping you'd hear me somewhere. But love like ours can vanish slow and leave me gasping for air. You hurt me deep, deeper than I knew. Took all I had and still I loved you. I gave my all, my soul, my time, and you left me drowning in your lies. You didn't break me with anger loud, you broke me quietly, hidden in a crowd. You hurt me deep and it's hard to breathe, still haunted by what you took from me. If I could turn back just one day, I'd shield my heart before I gave. I'd learn to see through your disguise, and maybe I'd save my pain. I'll rise again, I'll breathe again, but tonight I can't erase the hurt you left inside of me, that time will never replace. You hurt me deep, deeper than I knew. Took all I had and still I loved you. I gave my all, my soul, my time, and you left me drowning in your lies. You didn't break me with anger loud, you broke me quietly, hidden in a crowd. You hurt me deep and it's hard to breathe, still haunted by what you took from me. You hurt me deep, and part of me will always bleed. I held your hand through stormy nights, when the world felt cold and cruel. I whispered hope into your ears while I was breaking too. I gave you laughter, gave you comfort, even when my soul was torn. But you never saw the pieces of me that stayed with you warm. You were the sun I reached for, even when you turned away. I loved you in the silence when you had nothing to say. I loved you alone and you didn't know. I burned my heart while you stayed cold. I gave you everything I could hold, but you left me in the shadows of old. I loved you alone through every fight, through every tear, every sleepless night, and you never loved me back. I loved you alone, and that's a fact. Traced your smile in every mirror, hoped your eyes would look my way. I spoke your name to empty rooms, prayed your heart might stay. I counted every little kindness as if it was love returned. But love isn't meant to live in one side, it's a lesson painfully learned. I gave you strength when you were weak, told you truths I couldn't face, but you walked past my open arms without a single trace. I loved you alone and you didn't know. I burned my heart while you stayed cold. I gave you everything I could hold, but you left me in the shadows of old. I loved you alone through every fight, through every tear, every sleepless night, and you never loved me back. I loved you alone, and that's a fact. If I could turn back time, I'd love myself more than you. I'd let my heart breathe instead of breaking in two. I'll remember the love I gave, even if it went unseen, because loving you alone taught me what love really means. I loved you alone, and I'll survive. Though my heart aches, I'm still alive. I gave you everything I could hold, even if it left me cold. I loved you alone, but now I see love begins with loving me. You never loved me back. I loved you alone, and now I'm free. I loved you alone, but I love myself again.